We've been strong for so long. Now it's time to rise. No more dimming our light. Let it shine so bright. Breaking chains, breaking downs. We reclaim our crown. Standing tall here.
Hello, Facebook family.
Hello.
This is Michelle, the Golden Link, here with Terry Benjamin, and we have a special guest, Delia Pollard, as well as our expert licensed psychotherapist, Natasha McCartney.
Yes,
Yay,
yes,
let's
everybody
give
in the
all of us a
house.
round
Yes,
of
please.
applause.
Woo, yes.
Now, before we get started, we got to give a shout out to Britt Brett.
We
which
have
is
to.
Sabrina.
We have
Sabrina
to.
Crumpton.
Yes.
She's out vacationing
sis,
now. So
yes.
she did her work in
Okay,
Cali, and
all
now
right.
she's vacationing. So she'll be back with us August 4th.
Oh,
okay?
beautiful.
All right. So we did a long introduction about how you arrived here, Terry, and obviously you're not Sabrina.
No, I'm not. And
But if you want to just give us a little bit about your show, like when you come
Okay,
on,
all right,
and then
okay.
we'll kind of get started.
yes. Yeah, I like to say I'm the man that needs no introduction, but that's not always true. But again, I am the co-host of Poetically Speaking, the place for the spoken word, and we are on this network on Thursday and Sunday. And our program is, again, like your program, just to give information, just to develop community. And again, I'm so happy to be with you because what you're talking about today is so important, because I think all of us are going through a transition. I'll be 75 next month, which is a milestone, but it's scary. It's scary because I'm in that area where anything
might need
can
some
happen.
assistance.
I might need some assistance. I might need some daycare. But I'm not afraid now because we have an expert in the house. But again, Michelle, as you know, because you're doing a podcast about transformation, we are all in the process of transforming and being different. You're not the same person that you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
It's constantly changing.
It is constantly changing, and we shouldn't be afraid of that.
No, we should
shouldn't be
embrace
afraid of
it.
We should. But again, because of what you're doing and what Sabrina's doing, you're really helping us to embrace that next level.
Right, and transform.
That's right.
So
With grace.
We're Sisters Inspiring Transformation, and I'm so happy to have this platform
beautiful.
because I too am a caregiver 24/7.
Yes.
And it's really a lot because you think you might get the help that you need, and pretty much now everyone's into their own like self-care
Of course.
and things like that. So they really maybe two and three jobs. So they really just don't have time to assist the way you might need the assistance. But it's all good. So I'm taking it in stride. Shout out to all the caregivers and my mommy.
Sure.
So before we get started, too, I want to give a shout out to my sister. She's no longer with us, Priscilla.
Okay.
Today's her birthday. So
okay. Happy birthday. Yes.
And yeah, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot when it's on one person.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have to pretty much do everything, run the house, make sure we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful to do it.
Yeah,
I'm in my right mind. I'm able to do what I need to do, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah,
and my mom did so much for me, so I'm more than willing to assist her in her time of need.
Well, again, it's a blessing that she has you.
Yes.
And that you don't mind doing it, because I'm in the similar situation with my mother. She's getting up in age right now, and things are a little different. And so I'm here because, to be with you, but also to get more information, how to be a better caregiver, be a better caretaker.
And that's what we plan on doing tonight is making sure we give all the tips and tricks on how
please,
to
yes.
be a good caretaker. And also, just so you'll know, I'm like I said, I'm very excited to be here, and I do have like a book as well. I was gifted this book, How to Care for Aging Parents, by my bonus niece. I have a lot of bonus nieces and nephews.
That's a beautiful
Shout
thing.
out to Ichlis. So she gifted this book to me because she too was a caregiver with her grandmother, and she thought it would be helpful. So if you get a chance, you can get it. It's on How to Care for Aging Parents. Very, very good book. And you can read the author for us.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to say, in addition to that, about caregiving, you know, you have to ask for help.
Yeah,
Whether
you
the
do.
people give it to you or not, you have to ask for help, because it is a lot for one person to take on.
And this book is really, I'm looking at just the title. It says How to Care for Aging Parents, a one-stop resource for all medical, financial, housing, and emotional issues. And this is from Virginia Morris.
Right.
And so again, I mean, I know for myself, I'm always looking for books to help in my current situation, because I want to give my mother all that I can. I'm not a professional in this field, but because I love her, because I care for her, I want to give her that. And again, it's only right. Okay. It's only right.
And very good. So later on, I'll talk about in chapter 1. So, I mean, I read all the book, and it has like a lot of information with numbers and things that you can contact as far as resources.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But there are like 10 survival tips right in chapter 1. So I'll share those with you guys
please.
a little later. Yeah. And then I just want to say one last thing, and then we'll bring Natasha and Delia on.
Yes.
They're considering, a lot of people now, what's the sandwich generation, where the people are taking care of their children plus their parents and themselves.
Yes, of course.
So
that's
hopefully
this
show really helps, and you know, it helps me to be here too, because like you said, you have your books to read to give you something to look forward to.
Of course.
Show is here to give me something to look forward to, so I'm not just 24/7 focusing on mom and her needs, and you know, it helps me be a little lighter, you know, because that could be heavy, because my mom is currently in hospice, but doing well.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Thank you. All righty, Natasha, take it away.
Come in, Natasha.
Hey,
good afternoon.
Good. Thank you for having us. Yeah. So I just want to let the producer know that I'm getting messages that they can't find us on Facebook. So
you know,
I just want to make sure.
Normally it's under Sabrina Crumpton, but because Sabrina's not here, so they have to go under Michelle Sessoms. So that's
or me too. I think Sabrina made me a host as well, but it's not tagged to me today. So I don't know, maybe Norm have to do something, but just to give that shout out, because I'm getting messages from Facebook.
Okay, where you at?
They're like, we can't find it. Yes.
We got to bring everybody in. Come on,
guys. You know,
we're good on YouTube. YouTube is live, so hopefully the Facebook family will be on joining us soon. So so I would like to say thank you for sharing, you know, talking about the sandwich generation. And I definitely can, you know, you guys are blessed to have your parents. You know, I'm on the other side that my parents are no longer near with us, but I can have empathy for you because of the work I do. I see this a lot in my practice. So I'm really, really very excited to introduce our guest today, Miss Delia Pollard. She is an MSW and owner of Ageless Moments Adult Social Daycare in Monroe Township, New Jersey. Welcome, Delia. And we're excited to have you here to discuss your business and your experience of working with elderly people and also their families. We have 2 people here, and you know, I can speak for my cousin Sabrina who is actually on vacation. Her and her sisters care for my elderly aunt, their mother as well. So you in a room full of people who would love to soak in all of this information and feel like, you know, having you here is a real blessing and a value to us today on the S.I.T podcast. Without further ado, we would like to introduce you and begin helping you share with our members your experience. And hopefully by the end of this podcast, people can feel inspired about what the work you do, how you came into that work. And for the people and our listeners that are in the same situation as Michelle, Terry, and my cousin Sabrina, they could walk away with some real life tips on how to manage their current situations between taking care of themselves and taking care of their parents. So thank you again for coming. And I guess we can start out to say, you know, what inspired you to open an adult daycare center?
Well, first of all, just thank you all for having me here. And I'm going to get through the interview because just to share, I lost my mom as recent as 3 months ago. So I totally understand being a caregiver. So I have over 5.5 years of that, and also being a provider. So to say that would be, my mom was my inspiration. She absolutely, you know, my first thought when she came to live with me, was what type of care would I want for her through her entire journey. And that inspired me to open Ageless Moments Adult Social Daycare.
Okay.
You know, because I just wanted to be very particular, you know, the type of care that she would have received.
Yes.
And the best way to do it was to open it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Wow,
Well, you know, God bless you and your mom, and you know, my heart goes out to you to be able to be up here and talk about this, and 3 months, you know, post the passing of your loved one. But I'm sure, you know, as her daughter, and even while you're here, she was blessed to have a daughter like you and caring for her. So it just made me think when you said that it inspired you and caring for your mom and thinking about what care you want for her. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what social adult daycare is and, you know, the meaning of it?
You know, the first thing that I realized that the misconception would be it's a babysitting area, you know.
Okay.
And
That's
the
good.
biggest thing that if you leave out with anything, it's socialization.
Okay,
That aspect of it is the most important thing, as well as the caregiver themselves need that sort of, you know, what do I do with my free time, or how do I get free time?
Yes, yes.
You know, so as much as I sort of like to introduce the families to say this is where your loved one could come to, I also say this is what you need.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
You know, and that was one of what inspired me to say, you know what, you know, their journey. You know, when we look at the elderly, you know, it's frightening enough. We're all going to get there. Let's pay
That's
attention
right.
to
Oh, yeah.
that.
Oh, we are.
And I am very respectful of the aging process, you know, because we were once, you know, lawyers, doctors, or, you know, maintenance.
chiefs.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But at some point, we will be dependent on someone.
Yes, yes.
And I think that journey should be honored. And that's
Yes.
what
And you know,
really
and speaking
inspired.
of that, when we all look around, you know, look at Mr. Terry shared with us his age, and his mom is still around. And you know,
my
my
dad
aunt,
too, yeah.
Sabrina's mother she'll be 97 in September. Michelle, how old is your mom?
My mom's going to be 82 on August 1st.
Right. So
Friday.
it looks like
Beautiful age.
Yes,
right.
happy birthday, mommy. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, on Friday. And so
Yes.
Michelle was talking a little bit earlier about the sandwich generation. And what we're seeing is maybe, you know, it's a blessing that we're taking care of ourselves. Our life and longevity is expanding.
Yes.
And there's a need for these services. And it's wonderful that you in the community can provide that, because it is like, okay, so when we kind of transition into that age where we are adults, but we need people to take care of us, how are the people taking care of us thinking about us and thinking about our needs? So, you know, one of the things, you know, I find out in my practice that I speak to caregivers the same way, that it's important for us to respect the aging,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Because
yes.
they are human as well, to provide them with some sense of normalcy on their life. And I know that a lot of these programs offer a supportive environment where they can socialize, which is huge, because if you think about it, if they're getting older, sometimes many of them lose their friends by the time they wind
That's
up
right.
at a
That's
program
right.
like this.
That's
They don't
right.
have
Right.
any friends because their friends have passed on. They can make new friends, participate in group activities, you know, just fellowship, enjoy meals and snacks. And on the other side, I'm not there yet, but you know, because of the work that I do, I can look on both sides. Sometimes the elderly parents want to get away from the people who take care of them too.
They need a break.
Perhaps,
They need a break.
perhaps,
Yes,
perhaps.
yes.
So it gives them some consistency and structure in their life. So
Right.
that's good to know. Michelle, would you like to ask Delia a question?
Sure. I see we have Sabrina online here. She's in the
Oh yes, so we're on Facebook now.
Yes, hey Brit Brat.
Yeah.
She said
Okay,
hi family.
wonderful.
So she missed you guys.
Hi,
She can't wait
Sabrina.
to come back August 4th on a Monday. And I didn't talk about that real quick. You know I get sidetracked, Delia. Just bear with me. I'm about to talk about the weather, girl. Because we all every time it seems like we come on air, it's raining. So I'm like, why is it always raining? So today is so hot. It's like over
It's
95,
sunny.
almost 100 degrees in the next 3 days. So please, with all the caregivers, be careful and mindful,
Yes, you
especially
should.
with the little ones too.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
leave them in the car. Like, you think you're going to run in for a minute and do something. No,
Oh,
don't
man,
do
yeah.
that.
Well, there was a
So,
tragedy
yeah,
about that
Yeah, so I
recently,
just
yeah.
wanted to remind everybody that is very hot Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the tri-state area. And please be mindful of your seniors and children and yourself to continue to be hydrated.
Yes.
So I'm
That's
sorry, I just
important.
wanted
That's important.
Okay.
But we have a lot of questions for you, Delia.
Okay.
Sabrina was
She's
graceful
ready.
enough. Look, she's not here, but again, she's caring for her parents as well. So her and her family would like some information too. So so she prepared several questions for you. So we all took a look at it. I have a few. Before we even do that, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so let's see. I've had over 30 years in the field of mental health. I've worked in a nursing home. I still do psychosocial assessments. I currently still teach at Mercer Community College. I taught at Jersey College School of Nursing. You know, my passion was actually to do nursing first, and then I went into education. So, and I worked at, you know, the county, Kings County Hospital. I should say my prior employment was New York until I transferred over to New Jersey.
Yes.
But
So
I
you
think
plant.
So I think all of these things sort of gave me the experience to go ahead and launch into, you know, the adult daycare. You know, because as a social worker, I do assessments with my clients. So I tell the families, if I notice something, this is what I'm going to share. So I can see, you know, the depression, you know, the anxiety. So there's a comfort that we're not a medical daycare, but because I come with such a history of that mental health component, then I'm able to share with the families some of the behaviors that I can see.
And that's what God does. He prepares us. Like we might not understand why we're on a journey and why we're doing certain things, and then He closes doors and open. I had so many of those closed doors and open, but I too was a teacher, and that door has been closed. But it prepares me now to educate people here, and we have this platform to share information. So I really love that you had those different experiences that equipped you for Open the Daycare. And I also like to note that I appreciate that fact that you did this in honor of your mom, and she was actually able to attend as well.
Oh, yes.
So that was a beautiful thing, right?
Actually, at first, she was resistant. She was like,
you're a daycare.
She was going to be 99 in October, and she would say, these old people. And I'm like, Mom, that's you. These old people.
I'll probably be saying that.
So then it sort of gives me an idea to tell families, they'll be resistant at first, but once they come, they'll enjoy it. And believe it or not, she taught me a few things. Stuff like, you know, the families would say, you know, my loved one doesn't like to shower. And I remember my mom saying, as you get older, your skin becomes thin. And she said it hurts your skin. So then I was able to educate caregivers that, you know, we have all these fancy shower heads.
Right, maybe
it's not appropriate for them. You know, so she was also able to give me some tips that I was able to use at my center.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because again, we have to understand that they still have some intellect, some intelligence, and they know what they need, and we think we're doing so much for them, and we are, but we have to respect their wishes as well. Because my mother, she has a whole thing with the shower. She says it's too much water, and so she uses a sink, but I told her, so what happened, we got a chair to put in the shower, and she has a shower where she can just walk into. And now it's a little bit better for her, but again, I think we need to make adjustments for them,
for their needs.
For their needs.
So that's very important too. Because my mom, she misses her showers because she can't walk like she used to. But my mom mental is there. So she's so sharp, and she remembers everybody's birthday. And just on July 22nd, she remembered our neighbor's birthday. She turned 97.
Wow, that's amazing.
So she sent her flowers. So I went over there, took a picture of her, giving the flowers, and come back, take a picture.
Beautiful.
So I shared it, that way. But and she couldn't believe my mom remembered her birthday. But my mom remembers everybody's birthday.
Very good.
Yes, her memory is like amazing. I'm like, wow, I have to write everything down. I even bought a book where I just actually keep birthdays because I'm not going to remember everybody's birthday like she does. But I'll look at my book and people are like, oh, you remember her birthday? Like, I got a book.
And then that's important. That's important. Now, in terms of your facility, how many people do you have there? Like right now, is the number of people that you have in the facility?
Currently now, we have periods where we'll have X amount. Remember, my facility is transitioning. So they come to the adult social daycare, and then they transition either into assisted living. They require more care after a period of time. So as of now, we have at least 15 clients. And the beauty of it is they choose their days and they choose their hours.
So that brings me to the first question I have.
Much easier.
So what does a typical day look like for the people that are participating in your facility?
Good question.
Yeah,
good
that's
question.
a great question.
Excellent
Thanks,
question.
Sabrina.
I sort of tailor it to each individual because I try to learn the clients themselves.
Okay.
So they'll come in. I'll have one or two that love the news, so they want to watch the news. They're always having breakfast first. They love to conversate.
Okay.
Believe it or not, even if the one, even with the dementia, you'd be surprised to know how much they know.
Yes.
I think what we fail to realize is at home, they don't really give the families as much. But in the center, they have this way of really communicating to you in ways that, when I try to explain to the family, they're like, I don't know that they're capable. So I do a lot of videotaping to prove to the family, this is what they do. This is who they are. That's the beauty of it, So we come in, we have breakfast. There's then we do groups, arts and craft. We do a lot of memory games, concentration, brain teasing if there's any cognitive behavioral, any of those things that I have to address, music therapy. But every day is different depending on which clients come in.
Yes.
And I choose not to structure it to be repetitious in the sense that every day is the same, because I wouldn't want to go to a center where everything is the same.
Yes.
So I'm quite spontaneous in the sense like, maybe today I feel like dancing because I love to dance.
Yes.
And then we'll sing it, and they'll say, oh, she doesn't sing. I said, she sings here. So, and I'm quite bubbly, and it's kind of weird that I sit here, but I'm always up and moving, But it's very lively. Because that's what they want. A typical day at home for them is to sit quietly with a caregiver, don't misbehave. But in the center, they're very active.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Natasha, I'm going to throw it back to you for a question.
Sure, thank you. So, one of the things I'm hearing is thank you for sharing, and for all our listeners, and to you, Terry and Michelle, just because your parents are aging don't mean they don't have agency. And that doesn't mean, even if they do have cognitive limitations, that range from just kind of loss of a little bit of memory to dementia, that they are clear about what they want and they need. So I'm really happy to hear that we are having a discussion around that so we can kind of educate people around that. Because like Dahlia said, is that a lot of people don't recognize that they are still people too, and humans as well. And that agency is very, very important as they're aging. So one of the things that I would like to ask, what has been a challenge or one of the biggest challenges that you have faced as an adult daycare owner?
I guess maybe the transition, watching the progression and recognizing what are some of the needs. Like I would have to tell the family, what she can do a little bit more physical therapy, in the sense. I guess also maybe people not realizing that the service is there. I hear families and I hear friends, but they're thinking they're not appropriate. It's not really for you to judge whether it's appropriate or not, because you remember you're seeing your family members in I hate to use the word weaker form, but they become a different individual among themselves. All of a sudden they want to do art. All of a sudden they want to sing. They won't do that with you in your house. And I know that with my mom, I would be like, oh, you need to eat something. And she'll, no, I'm fine. As soon as I bring it to the center, oh, can I have some salad? Can I have some fruits? And I'll be like, Mom, is this you?
Yes.
So the challenge is really, not only families recognizing the services, but even just keeping them. Because even after you see the growth, they're like, oh my gosh, do I need, additional services? Should we put them in a home? Should we, and I said, just meet them where they are. Take the time to appreciate the new person. I call it the new person.
Yes.
And that reminds me, it's like they revert back to children.
Yes.
So, kids do that. Like the kids are so well behaved when they go somewhere else, but at home they're doing whatever they want to do. So, but but Terry, do you have a question that you want to ask?
Yeah, my question is really in terms of now, how long are they there? Because when I think of daycare, I think it's a certain time they come in and a certain time they leave. What is the timetable for their time at the daycare center?
Well, so we're open Monday to Fridays from 9 to 6, and on Saturdays from 9 to 1:30. And I threw in the Saturdays because I figured some families may just want to go to breakfast, do something, and I figured, bring them in, you have that time for yourself.
Okay.
Mostly the elderly, they're not that much of an early person, so I always sort of recommend to the families 10 o'clock is fine. I said 3 to 4 hours a day to get them started.
Okay,
Let them be comfortable, because at the end of the day, I honestly want them to come to me more than you want them to come to me.
Okay.
You know, I say test it out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, until, I mean, at the end of the day, even if they tested, most families end up doing all 5 days. You know, but less is best when you're now putting your feet in, and I want the families to trust it as well.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You know,
beautiful.
so you know, and the elderly, you know, they're fragile. You know, they're scared as well. You know, so and then sometimes I would actually tell the families, you can come with them, you can sit with them, you can let the caregivers come with them. We have an open door policy. There's nothing, you know, because the more you embrace the whole process of it, the easier it is for you to, you know, to let go and not, you know, be afraid of it. You know, I'm leaving them behind, and they're gonna cry when I leave. You know, so I want you to embrace it, and I want you to be comfortable as caregivers.
Yeah, it just reminds me so much of taking care of a child.
Yeah,
Correct.
Correct. It's just similar.
I have a lot of questions here, but it looks like you hit most of them. But
I was going to say she
was very comprehensive.
Show over.
No.
So we'll keep the show going, but maybe you could talk a little more to this point. What would people be surprised to learn about an adult daycare? Like something that maybe they'll be surprised about that they probably didn't know or think of.
I think how their loved one functions within the setting.
Yeah, you talked about that.
And that's because, you know, they look at it and they think, okay, you know, they're just going to come there and sit. You know, I do fashion shows.
Oh, wow.
You know,
that's beautiful. I love that.
We go out to dinner. We go to the Thai restaurant.
Oh, okay.
You know, because this is their journey, you know, and I know my passion has to be because of my mom.
Yes.
You know, and as a social worker. So I'm not ready for them to give up yet. You know, and once you see that spark come back in their eyes, then all of a sudden they themselves want to live, and then they get to talk about, you know, when they were younger, and, you know, they talk about their love life. And believe it or not, we love to talk about sex.
What?
Sex,
They
baby.
do.
That's me.
Let's talk about, okay.
Yeah, well, we get the idea.
So they're really lively. So I think they
course they
just
are.
think that a daycare is just, you know, you drop them off and, you know, I just sit them in the corner, and no, they literally make me laugh.
Yes,
They
yes.
share, they dance, you know. And
I have something maybe that can
That's-
help
that's
you,
beautiful.
or if you
Yes.
don't already do it.
Okay.
I know Sabrina's mom, she attend an adult daycare as well, and they used to pick her up and drop her off. Do you
Yes.
offer that?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
great.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
I think that was
beautiful.
really good.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
really
actually pick you up and drop you
Yes.
back off.
It's easier.
And then you take them to these outings and stuff?
We
Is
have
it like a bus or?
You know what? The ones that I've chosen as of now is closer. So we haven't really gone that much further out into the community, but that's something that I plan to do, you
Right.
know,
Okay.
within the time. You
Well,
know.
yeah. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about a little bit that you plan to do that you didn't do yet. Like, what does that look like? Like, what's the name of your daycare? again?
Ageless moments.
What about Ageless Moments 2.0? Like, what does that
In
look
the
like?
Oh
future.
my God.
The vision.
You know, I guess it always comes back to the caretakers and caregivers in a sense. And I want a sort of a one-shop stop, whereas, you know, when you think about mom comes to the center and then you have to make another appointment for, you know, physical therapy, and then you have to make another appointment for the podiatrist and so forth. So as of now, I've started where the day that they come into the facility, most of the times I have certain things scheduled for them there,
Yes, that's nice.
because
Yes.
it makes it easier. You know, it makes it easier for you, and they themselves don't want that many appointments.
Okay.
You know, they don't want you. You can't.
So you're saying that you have the podiatrist come to your facility?
correct. Absolutely.
Oh, that's
That's
wonderful.
beautiful.
Correct.
That's very
And
good,
I want
yeah.
like mobile dental. You know, I want
Yeah,
them
so you're
like
gonna
more
set up all that
wraparound
people to come.
services.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Wonderful.
wonderful. I
That's
love
Because it
that.
makes it easier for them. So that's what I envision. That, you
Yes.
know, even if it's not medical, have the services that come in that are willing to work with social
beautiful.
daycares
That's great.
for them to come in. And that way, you know, if they schedule on a Monday and Wednesdays, they also have appointments on those days and then the families don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you know what I noticed about my mom
resource.
is she loves to get her nails done, and because I'm also a nail
I was thinking the same
Look,
thing.
I'm a nail license.
That's beautiful.
I'm
That's
always,
beautiful.
you know, I got a lot of. I'm a jack of all trades. What they say. I'm a master of all of them.
And guess what? Michelle, we do nails and all that.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
beautiful.
good,
We
yes.
do the fashion.
Yeah, so
I
was
just had a Caribbean night, Friday night. Oh, it was fabulous.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
So,
wonderful. Yeah, I was thinking like later on, obviously not now, I have a lot on my plate, but maybe like in the future, I can do like rose nails. I can go to the senior homes and polish their nails and things like
That's beautiful,
that.
yeah.
So yeah, so hey family, I see my cousin Rhonda, Shonda.
Okay.
Oh, my auntie Merlin in Texas.
Oh, look at her,
Shout
look
out
at
to
you,
the
yes,
family.
yes.
And yeah, so welcome.
You know, one
guys.
of the things I would like to ask too, because you talk about it a lot and you definitely have covered a lot of information that I think is helpful for our listeners. But why do you think that there's still limited awareness or stigma around elder care, adult daycare, and, you know, just caring for elderly people?
You know, I wouldn't so much call it a stigma. I think it's misinformation in the sense. And you know what? I think, first of all, social daycare is actually new. Not even many insurance are picking it up. You know, medical daycare,
Okay.
but social, you know, and
Oh, that's a difference. Talk to that. It's a difference between medical.
absolutely.
Okay, what's
Because the
difference?
medical entails more their physical needs,
Okay.
you know, higher care, you know, higher level of care and so forth. You have to
So
have
the
a
insurance
nurse.
would probably pick
Yes,
something.
so they
like
pick
that.
up the medical much quicker.
Okay.
So a lot of times the families just believe if I get a home health aide to sit there with mom or dad, it's easier. They're not aware that bring them out into the community, let them socialize.
Yes.
You know, and for some, it's more problematic for them to get dressed and bring them out. But it's the quality of care that you're giving them.
That's important.
You know,
That's important.
because the less care you give them doesn't mean they're going to live less. They, you know, that they're not going to live as long. They will sometimes outlive the caregivers.
Oh, tell
Right.
it.
They
Tell
will
it.
outlive
Tell
the
it.
caregivers.
Tell it. Let's talk
So
about it.
let's
That's why I
be
try to have a
real.
balance, because this way, if I go,
Yeah.
I'm good. You know, like I balance me and my mom, so we good.
No, you
So
have to
I
do that.
think at the beginning, people have to realize, you know, what is the social daycare? Why do you need it? And what are the benefits of it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's actually the first stage, you know, the social daycare, and then maybe transition to, as you know, as they become a little weaker or more medical, you know, interventions are needed, assisted living, you know, nursing home. But this is the first stage.
Yeah.
Do you help like with the recommendations in the process?
Oh,
Like-
absolutely. Because the families trust you.
Yes.
And someone, when one of the providers come in, you know, I do my research, I actually go into some of the facilities
That's
prior to,
beautiful,
and that
yeah.
way, if I have to refer, because you get attached to the families.
Of course,
And
of
you get
course,
attached
of
to your
course.
clients. So I will not recommend any place that I've never seen, you know. So even if they don't need it as of now, I want to see what it looks like. Even if I have to recommend respite, I want to know what services are you providing, what does it look like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to hold off for some questions for right now. Then we'll get back, Natasha and Terry.
Okay.
Get your questions ready for Delia.
Okay.
So think about it. Put on your thinking
Okay,
caps.
all
Look,
right.
I'm in my teacher mode. Put in your thinking caps.
Yes,
and
yes,
then, but in the
yes, yes.
meantime, I'll talk about in chapter 1, like I said previously, how to care for aging parents. There was 10 survival tips, and I thought it was really good. And I noticed that they continue to point out, don't wait for help. You know,
Okay.
get help right away. Don't wait. And then before I do that too, again, there's a lot of numbers on different resources. So this was a really, really good book.
Of course.
So the first thing is to assess your and prioritize your to-do list. So you know, I have a to-do list all the time.
Yeah, of course we should have.
So what they're saying is when you make the to-do list, what's not important, take it off. You know, don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
Number 2, organize the documents. You
Okay,
know, whatever
okay.
your parents have, bank statements, whatever it is, because then you have to then take on this, and then also the power of attorney
That's right,
and
that's
things
right.
like that. So make sure you have your documents, and then number 3, plan a family meeting.
Okay.
So,
okay.
like, if you have a large family, plan that and get information from all the family on what it is that they think that they can contribute.
That's important. That's important.
What you need help with, and basically whatever, you know, tips they may have already too. So plan a family meeting. Number 4, take care of yourself.
That's right. It's important.
Because I did hear that a lot, that sometimes a caregiver goes before or even after. My aunt Dora passed away when she was 88. And my cousin Betty, she took care of her like I'm taking care of Mom. 6 months later, she was gone.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
6 months later. So, so care for yourself, and they're saying care physically, mentally, and emotionally.
That's right.
So you have to tap into all that for yourself, which I'm trying to do. And then number 5, like we said, get help. They keep talking about that a lot in the book.
That's important.
Before you think you need it. And if your family is not available to help because, again, they're working 2 or 3 jobs or they're taking their self-care or whatever it is they need to do, they're saying hire someone.
Okay.
You know, hire someone to help, because there's plenty of resources and people out here in that field who care for the elderly. So they're saying hire those people.
That's important.
Yes.
That's important.
And number 6, keep communication open with your loved one.
Yes.
You know, be respectful, like we talked about, you know, talk to them. And when my mom and I go tit for tat, because I think I'm right and she thinks she's right, because her generation is different than my generation. So we're standing tall in our truth and our experiences.
That's right.
So we're at the point, like, if we're going back and forth, we just say case closed, because she loves Judge Judy. So I guess she got that from there. So we be like, case closed. So either she says it or I say it before, but we don't go a long time going back and forth, because, you know, I love her and she loves me, but, you know, we all human and we want to get our point across.
That's
you
right,
know,
right,
and I don't
right.
have this around her, so we just say case closed. So I think that's important to keep that communication. And then again, it goes on to 7, which says show respect to the loved ones. So they talk about that.
That's
Number
important.
8, dump the guilt. Period. That's all it says. Dump the guilt. Don't feel guilty if you have to go get your nails done. My mom did that to me one day too. She was like, "What you want to get your nails done for?" I said, "I do your nails every week."
Yes,
I was like, "Your nails are nice and pretty. I want to get mine, and I don't want to be the one doing it. You know, I want to take that time and relax, and that's my moment to do my self-care and get my nails and toes done."
That's important.
And then number 9, prepare for the end. That's always hard. That's always hard. I mean, we all know we're going. We all can prepare in it, and it doesn't mean that you're preparing to go like the next day or in a few years or whatever, but it's good to prepare for yourself, for your loved ones, for everybody, just to prepare, because it's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, we're not here forever, you know, and it's just always hard, you know, when it does happen, but they're saying prepare for the end. And then the last one, number 10, it says be spontaneous, like what Delia was saying. They said do fun stuff with your loved ones. And that's all I have for the book. So now, Terry, you want to ask Delia some more questions that maybe we didn't get to? I know there was a list of questions. Where's your list, Terry? Is in your head?
Yeah, well, it is, but...
but you said you got this.
Yeah, no. But the question that I want to really ask is, because I know my aunt passed not too long ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And one of the things that I like about what you're doing with the socialization, because it was almost like she sort of faded. You know, she stopped being social. She stopped coming out. She would stay at home and watch TV, and just halfway watch TV because her mom was someplace else. And it was hard to reach her. And my question to you is, how do you keep them engaged in life and living?
Because, you know, it's funny you should say that. If they're home and they're watching television, we put them to watch television. When they're at the center watching television, we're having a conversation of what's going on. And in all fairness to the caregiver, you can't do that. You have things going on, you're busy, so watching the television, we say, "Mom, just sit here. It's easier for you." But we have to make sure, you know, we want to make sure that the process, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. They're reading the subtitles. There's breaking news. So we engage what's going on as we're just not sitting there, and that's what really. And then all of a sudden they'll remember a story. It's related to something. They are amazing. Every day, every time I think that I know them, there's something else that I'm like, whoa.
Learn. That's beautiful.
Yes.
You
know?
So the TV is like the iPad for the kids. It's like, okay, I'm going to go cook dinner. Like I tell my mom, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm responsible. So it's like, okay, you watch your TV. And she loves TV because that's her generation. And then the little kids nowadays, they have the iPads. But they also say, be careful of all that screen time. So
unless you're not part of the process when you're doing it.
And before I let Natasha ask you another question, I do have my own tips as a caregiver. What I did was I got a baby monitor. So I'm upstairs and mom is downstairs because I had to move her downstairs because she couldn't climb the stairs anymore.
Yeah, that happens.
Her physical has been gone. Like the mental is there, but the physical, no.
Yes,
She's getting weaker and weaker. So the baby monitor is there, so she'll call me, Michelle, and then I'll hear her. We're thinking about getting her a bell. I didn't get a bell yet. I'm like, okay. I'm at her beck and call, so that bell is going to be like ringing, dinging, dinging. And I'll be like, okay, yes, mom. Because she was a wonderful mom, or is. She's done everything for me. I didn't cook and clean when I was younger, so now I'm like, tag, I'm it. So it's good. I'm all right with it. So, and then too, with the baby monitor, I don't have one with a camera, but you can get one with a camera. But I do have something called Blink on my phone.
Oh, wow.
So if I was to look right now, I can actually see her and see what she's doing on my Blink. So it's a good app to get, and it's like a little camera. You have that, and then you can talk to them too, so they can hear you. You can talk back and forth. So that's a good tip.
I had to keep one.
And if you need a telephone, get the larger numbers because they sometimes have a hard time dialing. Now, my mom was a phone person, but unfortunately, all her brothers and sisters are gone. It was 9 of them.
Wow. Okay.
9 of them, 6 girls and 4 boys. Wait a minute, that ain't add up right. It was 6 girls and 3 boys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
do the math.
I gotta do the math, right? So my aunties and my uncles, unfortunately, may they rest in peace. Shout out to them. Beautiful people, beautiful family I come from. And so she's the last one left, so she misses the phone calls.
Of course.
Because that generation, like we're texting, we don't even talk on the phone.
No, they want to hear the voice.
They want to hear the voice. So she does miss that. So she's like, oh, the phone's not ringing. I'm like, oh.
Correct.
So I'm like, call my mom, anybody listening. But yeah, but we have to get her a bigger phone so she can actually press the buttons.
Of course.
And then let's see, did I have anything else? No, I think that was pretty much all my tips. But who's next to ask a question?
What about the chairs? I'm sorry, the electric chairs that you could install?
To go up the steps?
Yes, I had to install that for my right. But some families should consider if needed.
Consider that, and then ramps to get you in and out the house.
Yes, that's good.
Natasha.
Well, yes. Given what Dahlia talked about, I would like to ask and, have her speak to how can the community, and as a community leader, because given everything that you're doing in the community and providing for families is priceless, how can you gain better support and help educate so that the community can begin to lean in and understand that adult daycare is actually something new. We need to rally behind it because we're all aging. We all may need the support. And I think from what I'm also hearing, and even with the book that Michelle mentioned and some of the survival tips that we have, like we don't have to wait till it becomes a problem. Like, as you see your loved ones losing family members, losing friends, as they going into a different transition in life, the phone stop ringing. How can we educate people or give you support to help people get more information about how important this is in the community? So basically, I'm asking if you have one wish around gaining community support, because you have the mic, you have the voice, what would that look like?
I think not only word of mouth or just, maybe not, I shouldn't say, just share. There's a lot of, just share the resources, even if it's a state facility, there's no competition within, caring for the elderly. It's not just one place, just like how I would refer someone to assisted living and recognize that, we can all share the population.
Yes.
And even within certain family dynamics, let's say, African Americans or, Asian Americans, we tend to keep our loved ones in the home, and certain, families say, okay, the aunt and the cousin, everyone watches them. But it's not enough for just family members to watch the elderly. They need more.
Yes.
And I'm not taking anything away from, home health aides and so forth. But, I get to hear the same stories over and over, and I smile and I act like I'm hearing it for the first time. You won't have that kind of patient. I'm like, oh my God, you had a seafood restaurant, it's great. And I laugh as if like, yay, But, the quality, I'm engaging them, and you always think, okay, I'm going to put a cousin to watch mom, or I have a friend that's coming over, but it's not the same. You're slowing down the progress. I know that, you can see it because when they come in the first time, within a week or two, the behavior changes.
Yes,
and I'll say to
absolutely.
the family, pay attention to this.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they're like, oh, she's coming so early to pick me up. At the beginning, they never say that. Why is she here? And I'm like, there's nothing I
I'm
can
having
do. She's
fun,
here.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and they say, oh my gosh, you know, she's too early. And I also have a shower in my facility. You know, and
Okay.
everybody says, why do you have a shower? I said, because if you were dirty, you'd want a shower.
That's
You
right.
know,
right.
so you know, it's the human side. You know, we are part of their journey, and you have to be respectful. You know, so the community has to know, why not share it? Let them come out. Let them come to the center. Let them laugh and have fun, and then go back home. And you as the caregiver, you feel better actually when you're getting them like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Of course, of
You,
course.
it's almost like how the kids at the daycare, you're excited when they come home.
That's right.
But if
reminds
it's
me so
your
much of
job every
Yes,
day
yes.
for those length of time, then you feel overwhelmed. And I know what it was like when my
Yes,
mom was in the center. You know, I felt, you know, I was great. But the days that she didn't come, I felt like my life started all over once I got home. Because now I have to engage her and I have to talk. It was a little different.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting all distracted. 'Cause Sabrina has an urgent question. So I want to get Sabrina's question in because she
Okay.
would have loved to talk to you. You know, she's our other host.
No, okay.
And Sabrina says, what should someone looking into putting their aging parents into a daycare look like to ensure that they're receiving optimal services with a specific emphasis on safety and security? Because
Interesting.
her mom is currently dementia. I
Yes.
believe it's Alzheimer or dementia.
Yeah.
Toxic-
Yes, dementia. Dementia.
Actually, my facility, we have cameras throughout the
You have
entire.
cameras. Okay, so she has cameras.
We have cameras. My
Sabrina.
doors are constantly locked.
Okay.
You know, because at the end of the day, you know, and the families have access at all times.
Okay. Okay.
You know, because you want to feel comfortable.
And do you have a staff there along with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Staff
what-
of 5.
Okay.
Yes.
What does the staff do? Or do they do the activities? Or what is their
Everything.
role?
You know, it's funny that, you know, everyone, like sometimes families will come and say, oh, do they have degrees? And I said, yes, love. You
Yes,
have to love
yes,
the
I love that.
population.
You have to.
You have to be compassionate. You just have to love, and that's it. You know, and I have a great staff.
Okay, good.
Beautiful.
And shout out to my cousin Walik.
yes.
Look, I'm getting distracted by the Facebook. Okay, Sabrina, I hope we answered your question. Yeah, let's see. I do have another question for you. One of Sabrina's questions that she gave. You may have touched on it a little bit, but maybe you can delve into it a little more. Can you share a story of transformation, a moment when you realized that your center was truly making a difference? And I think you touched on it a lot. But did you have like one special moment that sticks out?
Actually, I have several.
Oh, okay. You can share whatever you
yeah,
want. You can
I
share
think
all of them, whatever.
One, which was really sweet, and she's still there. The son had no idea that his mom, you know, she paints. And he says, oh, she doesn't like art, you know, because one of the things I would say, what do they like to do? I want to get a sense. Do they like to draw? Do they like puzzles? And he says, she doesn't really like to do much. She just sits there and that's it. And when I would show him her artwork, you would think that we can sell it. And he's looking at me like, where did this come from? And I said, she had no formal training. He says, no. So, but remember, she's in a safe space. And there's conversation behind what she's going to do. Now, the funny thing is, she takes the canvas, she'll look at it for about 20 minutes. She does this, she does that.
Wow.
She picks the color, she puts the color down, she looks around. So the whole process is like 20 minutes for her to decide, because that's how she's, but when she's
That's
finished,
her process.
it's a masterpiece.
That's beautiful.
It's a masterpiece. So their talents come, you know, because remember, they're not frustrated. They're there, they're relaxed, and I can get anything from them that, you know, things that I'm not looking for. So that's one of the things that I realized. There was another gentleman, he was a psychologist, and I'm also very sort of amazed by the professions, you know. So we see them, these elderly, we see them frail, but they had fabulous professions.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
so there was one that he was like a psychologist, and he was, you know, he would say to me, you know, you don't have a bad day. And I said, what do you mean you don't have a bad day? How do you, you know, he said, in my practice, I would say you had a bad hour or 2 hours or a couple of hours. He said, but when you really think about it, you didn't have a bad day, you know, and I take that away, you know, but I understand how he feels now because he's moving around, you know, He saw himself as not being able to move, and each day he's recognizing I'm moving faster, I'm talking, I'm enjoying myself. So the process and the progress as I see them, every day is different, every single day.
Wow, we have a
Yes,
special
it
guest.
definitely it definitely sounds like this environment that you provide for our elders is magical, right? Because they get to, like you said, they were people. They were people with
Correct.
jobs. And even I wonder for this son who brought this mom in, because I know in my practice sometimes I'm talking to people about their parents and or talking to parents about what their children know about them. And she could have been a painter before he was born,
That's
right?
right.
Because
That's
when
right.
you
Yeah.
become a parent,
Absolutely.
you have to put some of your passions down, and maybe she never was able to pick it back up. So he may not even have known that his mom has
Correct.
talent.
That's correct.
So for him in her older age and to bring her to an adult program where she can kind of pull out her talent again is amazing. And what that reminds me of, or it makes me think about, it warms my heart that your facility is providing not only the elderly but their families with a different view of them. Because again, like we've been talking about this, and I think we did a show on grief, so we're embracing life and death, right? Because that's the one thing that we all know, that we can actually look at life and however long we have our elderly or our parents who are sick, and we know they may be facing a challenging time soon, we can still have a healthy relationship with them. So as a social worker herself, I totally understand the importance of the work that you do and what you give back to the community, because I do find in practice that caregivers sometimes get burnt out, and I receive them burnt out, and I'm the one that's like referring them. And that survival skill, I think it was like number 7, 8, or 9, like drop the guilt, talking about that a lot. Because what happens number 8, what I see is when families can't embrace that this is a new journey, but it could be a journey with a beautiful destination, is that when their loved one passed on, they have so many regrets, resentment, guilt, shame, disappointment. And it's hard to go through the grief process, the immediate grief process, because you lost someone with all of those feelings. So your services, your daycare program is, I don't know if people know how valuable what you're doing is, because people are never prepared for death. And
never.
I'm telling you, I hope the listeners are hearing me, that an intervention like this for your loved one sitting at home will change your grief process, because people also don't realize that as their family age and they lose something day to day, you're already mourning the loss of the person you once knew.
That's true. That's true.
So while you're caring for your elderly parents, you are in the grief process already.
Yes.
So I think, I'm so happy that you came up, and I'm so happy you have this level of enthusiasm behind this, and that we can speak about this to people. We're going to spread the word at our church, and our friendships at brunch, in every place, because you are changing lives.
Absolutely.
You are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just have one last question, because I can't believe it. This time goes by so fast.
Too
We're
fast.
almost
Too
out of time.
fast. Yeah.
But the last question, and it flows right into what we're saying now. How do you help families who may feel guilty about even using your adult daycare?
That's a good question.
So I think we can wrap it up with that.
Okay. All right.
I literally get that from the minute they walk into my door. I have to drop mom off. I really feel bad. I don't want to do this. And I would say, but you love mom, don't you? And they was like, yeah. I said, well, this is part of loving mom. I give them the ownership to say it's okay. What you're doing is okay. And then I sort of say to them, I've been there. I'm a caregiver. I can relate to them. So there's no mystery to what I'm saying. But, the guilt is for different reasons, and I can't always address why. But then I say to them, well, let me meet you where you are. Let's work with what we have here. Start to build something. You bring them in, you do videos, I show you videos, and I give them tips what to do. Take them out tomorrow night.
Beautiful.
This is
That's
what
beautiful.
you do.
Yeah.
So whatever guilt that you have then, I'm giving you a new life to embrace, because I let them know. I said, this is just a journey. You just have to be part of it. And I said, once you start to be part of it, the guilt sort of lessens. It doesn't erase, but it lessens.
That's right.
And once they start to realize that, and I think the key is mom likes it. Now, if mom was crying every day that you're picking her up, then you realize, oh my God, this is a disaster. This is worse than I thought. And that's what saves them. So at first it's hard, but each day becomes easier.
Wow.
You know?
Thank you so much, Dilla. I really appreciate you coming
you.
here because like we're all in this situation.
We're touched by this.
We really needed this, and everyone else out there.
Thank you.
So tell us again, how do they reach you, the name of your adult daycare, and then we'll have Terry say whatever he needs to say and have Natasha give the last word.
Absolutely. I'm in Monroe, 209 Applegarth Road, Monroe Township. It's Ageless Moments, Adult Social Daycare. I'm on Facebook. I can give you the number, 609-412-1347. Most of the times you'll see me dancing on Facebook. I'm dancing with the clients. I'm a little different. Beautiful, I absolutely
And what's your name on Facebook? I'm sorry.
You know what? Believe it or not, it's Suzette Tribute. I'll tell you why. I have to admit, it's my it's my middle name and my maiden name.
Okay.
And it's because when I worked in mental health for so many years, I just used my other names instead of my regular married name. That's all it is. Okay. So, but I absolutely love what I do, and I love my clients.
Okay.
Very good. Terry?
Yeah. No, I just want to say that you're doing God's work.
Thank you.
You're doing the work that we really need at this particular time. Yes. And the thing is, it is a situation where you don't know you need it until it's presented to
Correct.
you. And so, now that you presented it to me, now I have an option.
Yes.
Because I was thinking about what am I going to do with my mother?
Yes.
And now I believe in the law of attraction. I believe if you really put it out there, it's going to come back to you. So
absolutely.
I thank God for you, and you give me some things to think about.
Good. I'm glad I was helpful. Thank you.
And before we have Natasha close it out, I have to say I really appreciate Terry, my brother, being here with us. Yes. And Sabrina, if I'm not here, you're allowed to have Terry or anybody else, Natasha in my seat, because initially, I've been growing, from the show. So initially, I'm like, I don't want nobody sitting in my seat. And Sabrina respected those wishes. But, when you realize how life sometimes that's so silly, like
with community,
Yeah, so we're building our community, and I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. And all this show was really good, and it really helped a lot. And so, Natasha, would you like to close us out?
Yeah, please.
Sure. I want to thank you for coming, and I want to give another contact for you because I actually wrote it down and forgot to say it earlier. You can find her, or I'm assuming it's like your email address is Moments AdultSocialDaycare.com.
Correct.
Is that your website?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we want people to know that you have that website as well, because as Terry said, you are doing great work, and it's wonderful to have a show where I meet a fellow social worker. So thank you for all that you do, because you are doing God's work, and I really appreciate how you've taken your career, and I'm going to call this in your retirement, because you do the work. In your retirement, you're still giving back to the community in such a powerful way. And so we love that you came up, and thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So
Did you want a last word, or you're good?
Oh, I'm more than good. I'm just grateful to be here.
Okay,
but
great.
Come on out. You're going to enjoy the center. I kid you not.
Yes, and watch us on Mondays, Facebook Live, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And normally we're under Sabrina Crumpton. Today we were under me, Michelle Sessoms. I'm the Golden Link. Thank you, Terry Benjamin. Thank you, Delia Pollard.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Natasha. Okay.
You're
Good
welcome.
night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.